Welcome to Emory, where we aspire to train the future leaders of American urology. Now, there's two key ingredients to make that happen. First, we have exceptional residents. Second, we have an environment of opportunity. Opportunity to learn, opportunity to innovate, and opportunity to make a difference.
I'm Akansha Mehta. I'm the program director at Emory Urology at the Emory School of Medicine. This is my 8th year on faculty at Emory and my 3rd year as program director. I originally moved to Atlanta for my husband's fellowship at Emory, and we decided to stay on as faculty because Emory offered such a wonderful community, both in terms of clinical collaboration, academic collaboration, and the ability to teach residents and medical students and really help train the next generation of physicians.
So there were a few things that I was looking for in a residency program, and Emory checked a bunch of those boxes. Being in a large city, being a relatively large training program, like we have 4 residents a year, which is pretty sizable. The biggest program has 5, so we're up there. And then also kind of just getting along with residents pretty well when I came for my interview, and people seemed really happy here.
There are a bunch of different things that factored into the decision. There are kind of opportunities to pursue things more academic if you want to, but it's not necessarily a strong requirement. Urology is obviously a small field, and I wanted a program that was, had more than just 1, even 2 residents, and certainly Emory was a good fit for that as well. I think honestly though, when I was applying, I did a lot of trying to really quantify what I wanted. I had this Excel sheet in which I was like, okay, I'm going to give points for if it's a certain number of years program, if it, how much urology time there is an intern year, all this other stuff. And as I was interviewing, I realized actually that I was adjusting my score to make it what I wanted it to be anyway. So not a great scoring system. And at the end of the day, a lot of it ended up being gut feeling and how I felt.
The biggest strength of the Emory training program is really the diversity of our clinical experiences that the residents are exposed to.
Emory does offer clinical experience at an independent pediatric hospital, VA, county hospital, community-based hospital, as well as a main university-based academic hospital. So it's truly kind of a unique situation for trainees to be able to take part in all of those different aspects of training and those unique patient populations.
I think it's actually really nice because I think we get exposed to a lot of different practice patterns. I'm in a lot of different practice environments, which I don't think is actually the case for a lot of places. You have your one flagship academic hospital, and maybe that's it. Maybe you'll have one other hospital. But here we have, the main Emory campus, which is sort of your massive tertiary care center where you see the craziest things possible, with a catchment area that is the entirety of Georgia, parts of Alabama, parts of Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina. And so really, there's nothing in urology you won't see here. But on the other hand, you have places like Emory St. Joseph's, a little more north, where you still will see some really interesting cases, but it is a hospital that was a community hospital up until relatively recently, and still very much has that kind of vibe, where it is this sort of private-demics environment where your attendings are Emory attendings who are academic, but the environment of the hospital is just a very different sort of environment, and it's nice to be able to compare and contrast those two. Then you have a place like Grady, which is the safety net hospital for Atlanta and sort of the surrounding area, and that is an incredible place to work.
The Atlanta VA Medical Center is one of the largest regional VAs in the country. In terms of the urologic care that we provide, our patients are able to access the breadth of urology subspecialties at the VA. This is a unique patient population with unique clinical challenges that our residents are happy to serve and learn from. The Children's Hospital of Atlanta offers advanced medical and surgical care for pediatric populations in the Atlanta metro area, but really throughout the southeast of the United States. But residency training is really about a lot more than that. It's about finding and building a community. It's about getting exposed to opportunities that are new and unique, like opportunities in healthcare management, quality improvement, patient advocacy and public policy, and about honing your skills that you already possess that brought you to medicine in the first place.
And I think what's unique about Emory is that you have all the resources here to do whatever you want to do, including whether it's academic urology, going on to fellowship, or being a super strong private practice urologist. Here at Emory, we're not going to railroad you into either one of those paths. We're going to support you no matter what you want to do and find out kind of what your talent is and what paths you want to pursue are, and we'll make it happen.
In terms of exposure to urology subspecialties, our faculty are fellowship trained across the breadth of urology, including pediatric urology, urologic oncology, male reproductive and sexual health, genitourinary reconstructive surgery, female pelvic medicine, and endourology and minimally invasive surgery. We are very fortunate to have at least 2 faculty fellowship trained in each of these clinical areas, so residents really have the opportunity to learn from different faculty members a different approach to the same clinical problem.
I love being in Atlanta. So the Atlanta I grew up in is so far and away different than the Atlanta that I'm in now, in a good way. Like, I love kind of how the neighborhoods have matured, like the Beltline's made everything super fun and cool. And living in, the Atlanta suburbs north of the city was great for growing up, but I love being kind of in the city now.
So when we first looked, I didn't know anything about Atlanta, but then when I came down here, fell in love with the environment. It's warm, there's trees and greenery everywhere, it's close to a bunch of nature and mountains and the beaches not too far away. So fell in love with that, and then lots of great job opportunities for my wife.
I did my away rotation here. This was the second of my away rotations, and I really wanted to come back to Atlanta just because I remembered liking it as an 8-year-old or 6-year-old. Very strong reasoning. I currently live in Eastlake, so just a little bit south of Decatur. My neighbors are super nice. We have a lot of really young couples moving into our neighborhood that we've started to meet over the last year, obviously limited during the pandemic, but the neighbors that we have met have been awesome. I think in general, the way that Atlanta is laid out, it's not a normal metropolitan city. I came from Philadelphia, so this is very different. But I think what you see is you have all these little neighborhoods that each have their own little culture and vibe.
I live really close to campus, actually, in Druid Hills. It's nice that I can walk to work. My wife and I have bounced around a few spots in Atlanta. We lived in Inman Park when we first moved here, which is an awesome neighborhood. It's really changed in the last 5 years. Just tons of great restaurants and bars and stuff to hang out at. And then we also live in Candler Park, which is pretty close by to that area, but it's an awesome park that they have events, big concerts, and other things that we were able to just walk to and enjoy outdoor festivals.
I live in Old Fourth Ward. It's awesome. It's so convenient. It's very close to Grady.
I'm in Midtown, sort of like upper Midtown-ish. When I was trying to figure out a place to live, there are a lot of different places that residents will live around here. I talked to a few different people, and Midtown kind of seemed like a good fit in terms of the sort of scene for Midtown and the various things you can do in that area, while also still being close to all the various hospitals that we work at.
Going through this whole process is incredibly stressful. Essentially, you really have no sense of where you can end up. It's a whole match process where you don't really have much say other than putting your ranked list together.
There's so many things you have to think about. And ultimately, when you make your preference list, your rank list, it's what's the real difference between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3? Probably not much.
Our residents already come into training with incredible potential. It's our job as a faculty to help them recognize that and to help them excel. As applicants in the urology match, you will get great training across many different programs in the country. It's important to be honest to yourself in terms of what you're looking for in a program, what you're comfortable with, and how you hope that program will help you excel in your future careers.
Make sure you're looking at the smaller details that will impact how you live your day-to-day life.
Being honest with yourself about what you're looking for, both from the professional and the personal life standpoint. Residency is going to be a big chunk of your life, and you have to think about what you want, both from the training perspective, like the experience that you want to get with training, as well as the life that you want to build for yourself outside of the hospital during that time period.
Even with college, I felt that way, that there's probably more than one perfect fit, right? It's kind of about where you go and what you make of it.
Our residents are truly exceptional as individuals, and yet they bring even greater impact as a team. They come from all over the country, from the East Coast to the West Coast, from the Midwest to the South, and everywhere in between. Emory Urology is vastly enriched by the breadth of experience brought by each new class of incoming interns. The career and leadership aspirations of every urology resident are different, but they share the common goal of wanting to be the best urologist they can be and of advancing urological health in the community, at academic centers, and worldwide. Join us as you embark on a career of impact and fulfillment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for considering Emory, and best of luck.